Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. It definitely has been a minute. I know that I've been a little absent. I got sick over this past weekend, and I had every intention of doing this video last night. However, the freaking update got postponed until 10 p.m. which I was willing to stay up until 9 p.m. for the update. Once I saw it hit 10, I was like, I can't. I have work tomorrow, so I just went to bed, which is why it's a day late. So my bad. But anyways, to get through all of that, we are going to talk about Skadi here. First off, I want to say I love the design. 10 out of 10 design. Second off, I love the kit. The kit is super cool. The kit is super unique. I love it a lot. And I'm excited to get into it. Without further ado, I think I want to just jump right into it. So, well, I guess I should kind of explain. She is a ranger. She is a tactician. So she falls under, I believe she falls under the same as, yep. She falls under the same subclass as Valentine. So she's kind of a light Valentine, if you think about it that way. She kind of does the same thing as Valentine does, but a little different. And so with that in mind, we are going to start with her S1. Close range fire. Attacks an enemy. After attacking, has a 100% chance to grant increased attack to the ally with the highest attack for one turn. This attack buff is just 30%. But, I mean, when you look at characters like, I don't know, Gnosis Dahlia with, 6,000 attack, 30% is quite a lot, 30% of 6,000 is a good bit, so being able to increase your damage that way is super nice. This is also her burst. We love seeing an S1 burst. Means that we can constantly burst if we need to. At level 1, activates dual attack with one ally. At level 2, plus 1 weakness gauge damage. And then at level 3, inflicts marked on the target before attacking for 2 turns. Another way to get that debuff, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think marked was a 50% damage bonus. It might only be a 30%. I don't quite remember. It really depends on, I honestly don't remember if it's 30 or 50. I think it's 50, but it might be 30. I don't remember. And there's no way for me to look at it right here. I'll look at it at another point, maybe, if I remember. The next skill, her S2, is mid-range acrobatic shooting. Has a 100% chance to grant increased critical hit chance and critical damage to all allies for 3 turns, then attacks an enemy. When attacking an irregular, specifically, inflicts reduced defense on the target for 3 turns before attacking. This effect ignores the target's resilience and immunity. Again, our crit hit and crit damage is by 50% each, and reduced defense is by 50%. Super high level skill, very, very helpful for irregular extermination, something I still have not done. I'm just being really lazy about it. I'm being incredibly lazy about that. Being able to, this is essentially what Valentine's S2 is, except you don't get to go again. However, you get the buff for 3 turns, and the cooldown is for 3 turns. So when the buff goes away, you should be able to reapply it. And you also get to attack as well. And I genuinely think that this is, if I actually, I think if I go 2 over, yeah. Lucky or Die for 3 turns gains an extra turn after using the skill. It's just missing the gain an extra turn after using this skill. But it has the irregular defensive bonus instead. And it's a basic, and it comes as an attack already. That actually hits kind of hard. So pretty good skill. Her S3, Voltaic Arrow Storm. Has a 100% chance to grant increased accuracy and effectiveness for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance to reduce skill cooldowns of all allies except for the caster by 1 turn. Another way to help reduce your skill cooldowns so you can keep going. Being able to reduce your skill cooldowns is always a helpful thing. I mean, think about your healers, being able to heal more often. I really like Meva for this as well. The reason why I like Meva for this is that if you're reducing skill cooldowns by 1, what you actually can do is with Meva's S2, the one that does the passive debuff cleansing, when you trigger this, so let's say S2 triggers, you can trigger this, and then S2 is also reset. So the next time Meva's turn comes around, she'll be able to use it again. You can also stack this with other people. I believe Sterope has a cooldown reduction skill. If not, maybe it's part of her chain attack. I don't quite remember. That's another way, and you can do skill cooldown by 2 turns that way if you want to. There's a lot of ways to get your skill cooldowns refreshed a lot now, and I like that we're getting kits that kind of help us do that. She is a chain finish, reduces the skill cooldowns of all allies by 1 turn. That's another way to do it. I mean, so technically she has 2 ways to reduce skill cooldowns, so you can reduce something by 2 if you really want to. And then her dual attack effect after attacking increased priority of the caster by 20%. So she just gets a little extra priority, which is super. It's pretty nice. You know, it's definitely nothing to scoff at. Next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about her exclusive equipment, Damage and Loss. So Damage and Loss is her legendary exclusive equipment. It reduces her dark damage taken by 20%, but at the same time, it can also, when you use her S3, she increases her action points by 35, which is a sizable number. I mean, it's a pretty good number. But if you get it to the plus 10 enhancement, you can increase your action points by 50 instead, which, I mean, 15 points isn't a whole lot. But if you think about it, she's getting 20 at the start of a turn for being a ranger. And if you are getting 50, that means you're getting 70. Which means you can do her S1 basically every turn. Every turn with her, you can do her S1. Every turn you do Voltaic Aerostorm, you can immediately follow up with an S1 every single time. Every single time you can do an S1 Burst 1. Every time. Which is super nice. I mean, getting an extra dual attack is really nice. It's really helpful. For Talisman, realistically, you probably want a crit rate Talisman. That's what I'll probably run on her when I get one. I'm just waiting on one. Really quickly, before I get into the gear, pause the video, go down, leave a comment, let me know what you think the gear set is going to be. I am sure you will probably get it right. I'll give you a couple seconds. Do 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 do. All right. If you guessed speed gear, you'd be correct. A little no-brainery on the idea of speed gear. However, the weapon and accessory definitely matter. And your stat priorities also really do matter. So I like Meteor Masher because of how I'm building her right now. Meteor Mashers is nice. You can get some nice solid attack on here. And then, crit chance health, but when you have has a 50% chance to increase evasion by 6% when scoring a critical hit. So, you get a critical hit, you have a coin toss on whether or not you get to increase your evasion a little bit. That builds into how I'm building her, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. Obviously, absolute music with a speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, increased damage dealt by allies to boss enemies by 10%, a nice little 10% bonus you can give your team on top of all the crit buffs you're already giving them. Super helpful. Now we get to go into what I'm building her for. It might not be apparent initially, however, you might kind of see it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a high evasion, high crit chance, high attack, and some decent speed. I don't necessarily need her to be the fastest thing in the world, However, I definitely want her to be faster than basically anybody else. Obviously, there are some characters she's not going to outspeed. She's not going to be able to outspeed like Demi Vlada, for example, but I don't plan on ever really using her and Demi Vlada at the same time. And if I do, that will happen very rarely. The reason why I'm trying to build her this way is because if you notice, she already has a pretty high evasion stat. I mean, 244 plus 84, that's what, 160 base evasion, if I'm doing that math correctly. 180 base evasion is pretty high. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. Considering your accuracy has to be higher than evasion to even to hit. And the higher your evasion is, the less likely you are to get hit. Most bosses don't have that much accuracy. So being able to increase her accuracy really high, or her evasion really high, so she dodges more boss attacks is super cool. You can also run Absolute Music. I believe, if I remember correctly, Absolute Music, let me see really quickly. Absolute Music, no, it can't. Never mind. I was going to say, I think Absolute Music has the ability to heal on hit or heal when hit, and I'm wrong on that one. I don't think... Clear Mind. Heals for 15% of max health when dodging an enemy attack. That can be helpful at times. It's not the most helpful. At least not what I'm doing. I want the damage bonus instead. I would rather take the damage bonus, which is why I'm running Absolute Music. However, I think high evasion is still very strong for her, considering that her base HP pool is not that high. I mean, she only has 9,500 HP, mine almost has 9,600, and literally I'm getting 5,000 of it from my gear and stuff like that. So it definitely is nothing to laugh about. However, it's also nothing to really write home about either. It's not that much. However, it can help. My stat priority right now for her, the stat priority that I'm taking is I'm taking crit rate, evasion, crit damage, attack, and speed. Speed is kind of the last thing, because already with what I have is she's already faster than most of my people. I mean, 249 speed, 209, 141, 200, 255, and that's my Demi Vlada is at 255. 255 is Vlada, so she'll barely not outspeed Vlada. Outspeed my Vlada. 249 speed, I think that's fairly good, and to the point that I'm not even too worried about really giving her too much more speed with what I have. So realistically, I'll probably leave this speed alone if I can, and then probably just change everything else to be what I want. I'll probably trade this effectiveness for something else. I'll trade this accuracy for something else. I'll trade this effectiveness for something else. I might, and I like this. I'll probably just get rid of that effectiveness. This one I'll probably get rid of the effectiveness. This I might end up just re-rolling that all together. This I'm gonna get rid of that effectiveness, and I'm gonna cross my finger I can get like, if I can get HP, that'd be nice. Give her a little bit of extra bulk, just so that way she can live a little bit better. But yeah, that is Skadi. I really like her kit. I'm having a lot of fun with coming up with different little team compositions for her right now. I am using her in the World Boss at the moment. I have only made it to Extreme League with S. I'm having a really hard time breaking out of S, and it's not because of my Light and Dark team, actually. It's my base element team. It's a little bit on the lacking side, so once I figure that out a little bit better, I'll be able to handle it. However, I am definitely still struggling because a lot of my good units are dark and light, as you can clearly see. I kind of ignore the fire, earth, and water elements a lot, and I spent a lot of time in the fire elements. However, none of my fire characters up here are really going to help me against this boss. So I'm getting with a couple people trying to help me figure out what am I doing, who do I need to build for this. A couple people are being really helpful about it. Shout outs to them, they're being super cool. Just trying to figure this out so I know what to do, because I'm honestly totally lost. Summer is around the corner, and if everything goes correctly, maybe we'll see Poolside Regina make a return. Obviously, as you can see, I only got the one copy of her. I had just started playing when she came out, and I'm excited to see her rerun, because that will actually mark 1 year of me playing the game. Or it'll be pretty close to 1 year of me playing the game. So I would love to see her rerun. I'd love to get her at 6 stars. I'm very excited to see her rerun again. That would be super cool to come full circle. And I will show you guys where I have made it playing for the year that I have. And I might even go back and I might even tally up how much I've spent and tell you guys the amount I have spent in a year in this game as well, if you would like. I don't know if I want the number. I don't know if I'll like the number. But I'm willing to do that. Leave me, maybe go down, edit your comment, or add to it, or reply to it, or however you want to handle it. Let me know if you want to see me do a 1 year Outerplane check. And let me know also if you'd want to see like the amount total. I'll probably just maybe tally up how much I spent each month and then give a grand total of when I started or something like that. I think it'd be cool, but I'm not going to go through that work if you guys aren't even a little interested. So yeah, with that, I'm going to leave this one here, and to make it more fun, I'm just going to do this for funsies because I'm a goof. I like spending tickets. Ta-da! Alright, with that, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found this entertaining, and I hope you guys learned a little something from it. And again, I apologize for the delay, but with that, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.